This is your all-new 2020 Subaru Outback. And let's go Quirks, Perks, and Irks. It's all new, Subaru says. Front end looks pretty sharp. I like the boomerang headlights. So everybody gets LED fog lights, which are right at the bottom. No longer circular, they are more rectangular. Headlights, everyone gets LED day runners in this cool shape. Everyone gets LED low beams and high beams. Nobody gets LED turn signals, and that is an unfortunate irk for me. This is the XT Outdoor. It's a brand new trim, and it's meant to be enjoyed, well, outdoorsy. So lots of black cladding, and we'll see more of that as we go around the vehicle. But front end, I like it. I don't have any problems with it. Let's go around to the front quarter look. Pretty good, still keeps the same shape, and really, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I'm happy Subaru kept that in place. Let's take a quick look at the wheels up here. Nice, especially made for the XT Outdoor trim. You get lots of that black plastic cladding around the wheels. And let's back up and take a look at the side view. So again, it's an Outback. It's one of the only wagons available in Canada. Looks really sharp. Outback badging is on the rear door as opposed to the front door. And I'm going to do a comparison between last gen's Outback and this one right after this little clip here. So I like the shape overall, zero problems. Now, interestingly, you do get LED turn signals, but only in the side mirror. As we move to the rear of the vehicle, you'll notice, there we are, more non-LED turn signals there, and obviously the other side, but you get LED brake lights and halogen reverse lights. And there's a look at the rear. I took it through a car wash. It didn't do that good of a job. Petro Canada, I expect a little better out of you. Hidden tailpipes, just like last year. They're right there, but they don't stick out. And usually I'd kind of put a quirk with that, but I don't mind it. I wouldn't say it's a perk, it's just maybe just indifferent. Instead of kicking underneath like you do in most other vehicles, Subaru's got a sensor here, so you just put your hand up against it. And you hear that chime. I'm not sure if you heard it through the microphone, but anyway, that's how the door opens, and you get tons and tons of cargo space. I'll put your cargo figures right there at the bottom as usual. Thank you, Subaru, for making life easy. You pull a handle, let's get them both in the frame. Oops, I think I got something there. It usually does go down. I think that was operator error on my behalf. And anyway, let's do this one and we should fare a little better. There's a look at it. There we go. And I'm gonna put the camera flat down, and it's not 100% flat, or I guess 180 degrees flat, but it is much flatter of a fold as opposed to the outgoing 5th generation model. So here it is with the privacy cover on, and Subaru has this cool thing where you just tap it, the whole thing collapses. And I'll show you how that's done a little slower. So basically when you push down on this, that lifts that out of the rail. Let's go in the rail, and we push down and it automatically just slides up right there. Now, if this is up, it really impedes your rear vision. So never drive with this up. Either take it out or keep it all the way down, and that's how you do it. And one more time, you can see, actually I'll show you without. So there it is. There's the whole bracket piece itself. That, oops, come on, there we go. So that's how it goes in. And this is my hand, or you can use your elbow if your hands are full. We'll use our elbow here and keep an eye on it. It goes down, automatically goes up. And to get it out, nice and simple, you just push that button and the whole thing comes up and out. The 2020 Outback comes with a rear camera washer. To activate it, same thing you do to get the fluid out for your rear window. Just twist, sorry, it's gonna be a twist this way or that way, whichever you like. We'll do it the easy way and take a look at that ice chunk. A little bit of fluid and much clearer view. Let's do it again. There it is. On that side, it's the all-new 2020 Outback. On that side is my friend Michael's 2018 Outback. So just some of the differences. Michael's has the circular fog lights, and the 2020 has the vertical ones that look like the tablet on the inside. And a small difference on the 2020, the turn signals are on the outside of the assembly, and on the 2018, which is the 5th generation, they're on the inside. This is the XT Outdoor, so the grille is blacked out. So the things you can notice from here, the plastic cladding around the wheels on the 2020, it's the XT Outdoor, and Michael's, which is the Premier, doesn't have that. So I'm gonna have to go up a little closer to show you some other differences. On the 2020, the word Outback is on the rear door. On the 2018, Outback is on the front door as far as badging goes. On the 2020, there's that little triangle here as part of the roof racks. And let's quickly take a look at Michael's. Does not have that. As well, the rear window, it's a little bigger on Michael's side compared to the 2020 side. Can we get them both in? Yeah, there we go. There's a good look at the difference. So it's, again, smaller, thinner on that one as opposed to the 2018. So right away you can see the tail lights are a different shape between Generation 6 and Generation 5. They still have the same badging, Subaru and the symmetrical all-wheel drive on the left. Same thing for Michael's on the right. Michael's is the 2018 again, so it has the 3.6R, nice, big, powerful engine. We'll get into the engine specs later on in the review, but this is the Subaru Outback XT. The fin antenna on the top, which is on the 2020, and Michael's does not have the fin. It just has the just small little flat piece there. One other quick thing, the spoiler is a lot more pronounced here. It's got the little side piece as well as that, and Michael's just has a smaller side piece as well as the overall spoiler. So the side mirrors are mounted a lot lower on Michael's car, kind of the top of the door, and these ones are a lot higher up, and there's its own little bracket that comes out of there for it. So let's take a look this way. So yeah, Michael's fully mounted to the door, and this one's still mounted to the door, but it's more fluid, and there's that nice design line that goes through it, and I'll show you what they look like side by side right there. Take a look at the rear seats, 2020 Outback. Perk. Seats go forwards, backwards. As far as the seat back goes, you can see it's all the way back now. Not much space, but enough to give you a little extra comfort. To put it fully forward, pull this up, and now your seats are level. Seats go down with the push of a button. Thank you, Subaru, for keeping things easy. And yes, we still have those two little handles on one on that side, one on that side. If you are in the rear of the vehicle and you want your seats to go down. 2-stage heated seats on this trim, couple of power sources, and your vents, not fence, vents. This comes with all-weather floor mats, and the seating material is water resistant on the specific XT outdoor trim. Get the green stitching all the way throughout, and there's some on the seats and a little bit in the headrest as well. Just before we go up front, here's a perk. Headrests, forwards, backwards, as well as up and down. Thank you, Subaru, for that. There's more of that green stitching. There's a quick look up front, and speaking of up front, let's close these doors up and jump up front itself. So starting with the door panel, more of that double green stitching. Again, only on this specific trim, the XT Outdoor standard stuff here. I like that there's a bottom so you can actually put storage, or use it for storage. Very nicely done there. Piano black, don't care for it. Catches fingerprints. Anyways, more green stitching. Seats. Thigh bolsters, good, not great. The side bolsters are really, really nice. Not only do they come out a lot, but they're really, really thick, and they keep you in place very nicely. And I like the nice two-tone gray and black for the seats on this specific trim. Again, water repellent. Subaru really wants to get you outdoors in this vehicle and experience all that Canada or America has to offer. All right, let's take a seat. Start button right there, and start her up. Nice and easy. So dashboard, a 3.5-inch screen in the middle gives you all your information, and that's all controlled through this little button here, which is a standard for Subaru. You just scroll through it and get all sorts of different information. Analog dials on the outside, and again, as I said, the 3.5 digital in the middle. Here's a cool little thing that I noticed a couple of days ago. Keep an eye right there on the park button, or park sign. I'm going to put it in reverse, neutral, and drive, and it doesn't just change, it actually scrolls. So park, reverse it, there you go. Non-heated steering wheel in this specific XT Outdoor model. Wish they would have put it there, but my 2 cents on that. All right, 11.6 inch tablet style screen. I'm not a big fan of it because there are not nearly enough hard touch tactile buttons for me. I want to put my seat warmer on. 1, 2, 3, 4, if I wanted on the lowest setting, and 5. 5 touches as opposed to something as simple as, a couple of touches. Just, I think that's over-engineered. Same thing with your HVAC controls. You push that whole button and you can slide up and down as far as your temperature goes. You also have these, which is nice, but I I know, I'm not a big fan of it. I'm going to put it off, and here's your little middle part to put it off. So a couple of touches on the left for off, or sorry, to get it on one. That gets it off itself, and then that gets it on. I think it's over-engineered. It's really hard to maneuver with gloves on, and that's really when you're going to use this the most. It's when you're cold and you're driving and the car gets hot and you want to cool down or whatever it is. It does respond, but it responds slowly with gloves on. You've got to kind of push down very precisely, and if you've got big clunky gloves like I do, it can be a little cumbersome. So not a big fan of that. There's a lot of space on the black pillars here that are on the outsides of the actual screen itself, and I think they could have and should have put a little more as far as hard tactile buttons go. My 2 cents on that. So let's start here. Push the little car button, and you can put your auto vehicle hold on or off. You pick your X mode, and this is cool. You can either get deep snow/mud, snow, dirt, or normal. It's been winter here. Well, it is winter in North America. It hasn't snowed for the past few days, so I haven't had a chance to use snow, dirt, or deep snow, mud, but it's there if you want it. And your vehicle dynamics control on off. Let's go to driving assistance, and I'm going to keep all these on just for your safety side of things. And then you have your others, and that's just kind of, standard stuff. I don't like that I've got to go to a couple of different screens to get to my auto start stop. I wish they would have put a button there just to either activate it or deactivate it. It's just such a hassle. Subaru still does the distance to empty in denominations of 10 as opposed to specific numbers. Like, you'll never see 771 kilometers to empty. It's always denominations of 10. Not a big fan of that. No navigation, but CarPlay and Android Auto, so that solves that. Once you're in here with bare hands, I find it's easy to navigate, and it's not overly complicated at all. So I like the majority of the screen, and that's for your individual driver profiles. I don't have one added yet, so let's get out of that, go back to that main screen. You got the top screen, which replaces that big screen that was here in previous Subaru models. So that is my time and radio station. That is some information on the engine and my average speed. You got your weather, one more over, and you get your X mode. So you can either hit the thing a few times or keep it here if the weather is weird, or again, you can go back down to the bottom left, and pick your X mode, so you can see it in the top and the bottom. Let's, I don't know, let's go snow, dirt, just for the sake of it. Graphic shows up there, that's cool. Let's go deep snow, mud, and the graphic changes. So nicely done there, Subaru. Nice. Okay, let's get out of that for now. Yeah, let's keep it at that. So 4 ways there. I like that that's a nice hard touch button instead of making you dig for it. And overall, it's a good layout for the screen, and I think that's the way the future of vehicles are going. Volvo started it a few years ago with their big tablet style, and I believe the XC90 was the first vehicle they had it in. But I want a few more hard touch buttons. Maybe I'm showing my age at 41, soon to be 42. Here's a cool feature. You have a front view camera, and the car's in park right now, as you can see. So I'm going to hit that. We'll take a look at the screen. And basically, Subaru's saying, all right, you're going to go outdoors, and we don't want you to hit rocks or get in the way of anything if you think you might hit something. So you just pop that little front view camera button on or off. And it also works when you're in drive. So I'll put it in drive. We're not going anywhere, just showing you what it looks like in drive. And you have your view for the camera, and it goes on and it goes off. So kind of a cool touch there. And it might also help if you're pulling in forward to a parking spot and you don't want to hit that little piece of concrete that separates you from the curb, or the curb for that matter. Let's do the drive. 2020 Subaru Outback. Lower trim models get a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, giving you 182 horsepower, 176 pound-feet of torque. Higher trims get a 2.4 liter turbo engine, 4 cylinders again, but this time you get 260 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. Same engine that they have in the Subaru Ascent full-size 3-row crossover, and it's an optional engine in the Subaru Legacy. What I've found is that it does well, but it's not particularly fast or quick off the line. It takes a little while to get up to speed. Now, not dangerous by any means. You can still get on the highway without any problems. You just got to put your foot down a little harder, and the revs go up a little higher, but it still gets the job done. But I was expecting a little more bite out of it, and that might be a biased thing for me, because as we had seen in an earlier part of the video, my friend Michael's 2018 Outback had the massive 3.6 liter 6-cylinder engine. Yes, the horsepower and torque were a little lower than what it is on this vehicle, but just it's really, really powerful, and it's so strong. And maybe it goes back to that good old saying, there is no replacement for displacement. But I found that it was a little underwhelming as far as power goes based off the figures that come with this. Again, the 260 horse and 277 pound-feet of torque. Another irk for me is the sensitivity of the steering. It is just very, very sensitive. I'm not sure if you could see it here. So you can see the steering wheel, and that's the eyesight kicking in, but like just a little turn of the wheel and the car generally oversteers. And it's an electronically assisted steering system, and I just found it's a little wobbly for me. Everybody who gets a 2020 Subaru Outback gets the eyesight system as standard fare, and I love that they did that. That's going to be listed on the side of the screen as far as everything that comes with eyesight, and I love that they've done that. Everyone gets LEDs all around except for your turn signals. They get your high beam assist, and some of the higher models get blind spot monitoring, lane centering assist, and the rear cross traffic alerts. You don't get that in the base, but every other model above the base model, which are 6 because there's 7 trims in total. A bit of an irk for me, not about the vehicle itself, but the trims. There's 7 of them. I think that's 3 or maybe 2 in excess. I think they could have easily done with 5 trims. Fuel tank holds 70 liters, and here's a perk. It's of regular fuel, even though it's a turbo engine. So thank you, Subaru, for not making us put in the expensive high-grade fuel. As far as fuel economy goes, it is 10.1 liters per 100 kilometers for the city, 7.9 for the highway, for a combined total of 9.1 liters per 100 kilometers. Not too bad for a bigger vehicle. Overall, with the 2020 Outback, I'm happy they kept the familiar shape, although I don't know what they really could have done to change it, so I'm happy they kept it. Again, if it's not broke, there's no point in fixing it. Cabin's been nicely refined. It's a much nicer place to spend time. Quieter, seats are much more comfortable than they were in the outgoing model. Not fully sold on the 11.6-inch touchscreen. I wish the HVAC controls had at least a few hard touch buttons on them. It's kind of hard to navigate with the gloves on. Bare hands, just fine. And I wish they'd tighten up the steering, maybe 2021, 2022. They can address that. Again, just my 2 cents. You may get in the car and drive it yourself and say, Jay, no idea what you're talking about. It feels just fine. Everyone's going to have a different reaction as to how they want their car to drive. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. And I look forward to seeing you next time with my next car review. I said next twice. I tried something new. It didn't work. Let's go back to the classic. I'll be back sooner than later with my next car review.